He's a wealthy American industrialist, but as a child, he witnessed the murder of his parents, which ultimately led him to craft a persona to seek justice against criminals. He's none other than Gotham City's Batman. Last month, he was our MVP in Avengers versus JLA. Will he win that title again tonight? Because he won it last month for the very first time ever. We'll see if we can make it 2 for 2 in tonight's JLA versus Avengers. Welcome. And welcome to the man that I do this monthly show with. So happy to be with John's Comics with Friends.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for the wonderful round of applause there.
It's no problem.
Congrats to Bruce Wayne. I'm sorry, Batman. We won't reveal his identity till later tonight. Yeah, officially getting a turn on the MVP podium.
For the first time, he was never even nominated before.
Nope. Yeah, it's hard when they really did ostracize the big three in that Justice League run for quite a while. They didn't. The big three, they had to take their back seat for a good while. Then Hal Jordan rose to claim his throne.
Yeah, he did. He's done very well. Heck, even Aquaman's done pretty well on this show.
Yeah,
so.
the two of them are holding court for sure.
Yeah, they are. So welcome to our JLA versus Avengers. We're so happy that you're here for tonight's show. And before we get started, I'll say that everything old truly is new again, like they say, because just today in comic book stores is a facsimile of a Justice League issue that we'll be reviewing in 2 months. Did you see it today at the store?
I did not look for it, but you did mention that it was there. I'm not a big facsimile guy. I say that, and then I buy slabbed facsimiles. So yeah. I don't usually go after facsimiles. So I did not look for it.
Okay. It is out there, though. And for those that are wondering, that's a huge key issue. It's the meeting of the JLA and the JSA, and it begins their yearly team-ups. So in 2 more months, we'll be actually discussing that issue. We'll be up to that time already in our show. I know you were just saying to me recently, you're like, I can't believe we're already, 19 issues into this show.
Right.
So,
well, and it might end up being 3 months because I know we had planned on after we do the 20th issue, we're going to do a little breakdown of our comics, the ones we've purchased, 11 through 20, and have a discussion around the journey and getting some of those books. Yeah. So it may be 3 months away when we get to that one, because I'm looking forward to that as well. That time to spend reflecting on goals and achievements and gifts from the community and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So while we're in the process of talking about how we got some of these books in our collection, issue 19 of Justice League of America and issue 19 of Avengers is what we're talking about tonight. But is there any story behind, before we start really getting into the gut of the show, is there any story behind your copy that you got into your collection?
Not particularly. This is one of the ones I got in a big section. I kind of go back to that story a few times of a friend at my LCS who was not the owner, but one of the workers in the shop who was always at the cons with my LCS, had purchased a ton of books and was getting out of the hobby to fund working as a nurse. And he was selling a whole bunch, and I bought a giant lot. It was going to include Avengers 4 signed by Stan Lee, but then Stan died and that book skyrocketed. So he sold it separately. But among the books I bought from him, including 2 Poison Ivy first appearances, were several Avengers early issues, and this is one of them. It's definitely a super low grade, barely held together copy, but the colors are still really strong. I think they pop nicely on the screen. But yeah, it's definitely like the corners are rounded.
Yeah,
you can see. So it's lived a life, this copy. But I was just super excited to have. Yeah, and again the background colors are really vibrant still, so I'm happy about that. And I've never been too big of a grade snob, so that kind of stuff didn't bother me. How about yours?
The story behind my Justice League is pretty significant. I think I just got this. It was the last issue that I needed to complete volume 1 of Justice League. I don't have the Brave and the Bold pre-appearances, but for the actual run, this was the last one I needed. I just got this at Cowabunga Comics in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Shout out to James and my friends like Sam that are down at the store. And I didn't know it was there when I went. I mean, which makes it more fun for me because you can order it online and complete your set. But when you find it in the wild, not knowing it's going to be there, and it was a great deal, and it just makes it more special to me that's how. I didn't know when I woke up that morning that I was going to be completing my Justice League run, and I came home completing it. And that's just, that memory is just, you as a collector.
Core memory. It's a core memory. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
so
people
in a
haven't
moment,
watched that video when you share it, it's a great.
Oh, thanks.
Video.
Thanks. In a moment, we'll start breaking down our thoughts on who had the better cover. But first, I want to say hello to, our roll call tonight, which starts out with, I wanted to say it. It starts out Muabunga to White Tiger, cool, calm, collected. So hope you and the family are doing well. I know you're getting ready for probably a very exciting Christmas, which is next month. I can't believe that.
Yeah, baby's first Christmas, man.
Yeah, Cubs' first Christmas. So that's great. Thanks for always being such a great friend and showing support. So Christina is here. Love Christina, Modnair extraordinaire. So thank you for being here as well. Hope you're doing well. It's not a show.
Infinity wrenches.
Yes, it's not a show to me unless we have Kenneth Burden here. And I always appreciate Kenneth coming to my live streams and watching my videos and just being a good friend. So if he wasn't here, like, my feelings would be hurt. So it's like, I really like, okay, I got the Kenneth seal of approval. I'm cool. So
the pressure's on Kenneth.
Yes. Totally unbiased Tim, the comic collector, is here. So I'll tell you something. You show a couple Marvel comic books in one of your videos, he's going to comment and let you know that you did.
You better fix that. You better correct that.
Yep. Yeah, he'll put a comment in there and make sure that you're aware that he knew. So
it's fair.
Tim,
that's a fair reaction.
Tim, hope you're doing well. It's always great to have you stopping by too. So I know Tim actually did buy the facsimile today for Justice League. He did. So, and I think he said the store that he normally goes to doesn't carry facsimiles, or he doesn't get facsimiles, or they're not available. But there was one there today for him of that issue.
Wow.
I think it was meant to be. So
sounds like it.
Tim, you're in the right spot tonight. Oh, only to me. Oh, I hold a higher example. Oh, yeah.
That's
Ain't
fair.
no mountain high enough. Okay. So every great story or comic book begins with its cover. And, we have Gordon here as well.
He's already voting.
He's already voting. That's cool. That's fine.
Love you, Gordon.
So,
man. You're awesome.
Yes. So what do we think about the cover to Justice League of America number 19? You can kick us off.
I really like it. I like it a lot. I like the fact that it's basically the story writ large. Like, this is the plot of the book. The drama that leads to it, the actual act of leaving the planet, the whole thing. Then I like the layers, the background, middle ground, foreground stuff that they've got going. So there's a lot of depth to what's happening here. I love the protesters that you can pick out your characters in the protesting crowd.
Yes.
This really works for me. Is this what, 60? We're still in the 60s.
1963.
63. Yeah.
Yep.
So I like it a lot. I like the way they capture the characters. So this is definitely a fave for me. I was very happy when I really could study it up close.
Yeah. I like this cover as well. I think it's one that when you start looking through the 260 plus issues of Justice League for standout covers, this is one of them, for sure.
Yeah.
And it is those secret identities in the crowd, to me, is what makes the cover, because
for sure
it's essentially given that the reader, it's a foregone conclusion that they know who that is in the crowd. So,
right.
And I like that. And it's interesting because someone isn't something in this cover. And that's what you're trying to figure out, who's legit and who isn't.
Right. Yeah, for those that don't know, in the plot, we're going to see that the protesters include some of our heroes. So Diana's right there in the front. You can see Clark in that blue suit and hat with his glasses. So you can pinpoint our heroes among the crowd. So as someone maybe reading this the first time, you might skim through and not notice it. But if you've read the story, you go back and look at the cover a second time, you're like, oh goodness, that's kind of clever how that looks.
It is a good way to me to fit in so many characters on one cover.
Right.
Because there are a lot of characters on this cover. But it works. So
yeah, completely works for me.
Yeah, let's switch over and look at your Avengers cover right now.
Here you go. What are your thoughts on this one?
First thing, I love the coloring. And I love the background coloring. I was thinking, even if this was a sketch cover, just with that color changing the hues.
I learned in school it was called ombre.
Ombre.
Like the ombre is changing. Yeah. So
yeah,
when it's light
like
to dark,
that.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's like sunset. It looks really cool. Yeah.
I actually think the floating heads look better in circles. I kind of like them encased in the circles as opposed to just a head with nothing else. Swordsman, you look at him and I just think to myself, that's an accent. He has an accent. There is a little bit too much wordiness for me, but Marvel is guilty of this in these covers.
Common. Yeah.
Yeah, that's common. Very common.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like it. It's more of a pinup cover to me, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with a pinup cover. What are your thoughts?
I agree with all your thoughts. The background is the best part, which you never want to say about a cover. That's a strike right there. I don't like his pose where it looks like he's like crotch forward, lean back. Like I don't quite know his pose on this. I also don't like the color of his uniform. It's way too Hawkeye-ish. So you could easily look at this and be like, what's Hawkeye doing in this costume? Like it's too similar for me to what Hawkeye wears. And so for me, they could have gone a different way. I think that the uniform and the color just doesn't quite work for me. So that's just me griping about the character. But when you put him prominently on the cover like this, that's the focus. And
do you think if the colors had been different, you would have liked it better to his costume?
Yeah, perhaps. I think if they'd come up with a color scheme that kind of worked, green, red, whatever, something alternative to the same kind of purpley color that Hawkeye wears. And the floating heads, I just don't see the function. Why not make this cover exciting and have them fighting on the cover? Because that's the plot here. So I think you give me a cover where they're battling this new character called the Swordsman. You got me interested. I want to see how this is going to turn out. This just feels a little bland overall.
Yeah.
For me, which may give away my vote here.
So
what's up,
start
Sheena?
Voting in the chat right now. Yay. Hey, how are you doing? Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, and those of you in the chat can pick which cover you like more. Let us know. Pick your personal favorite cover of these two, and then we'll get into story here in a second.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming my pick is pretty clear. I'm going with JLA on this cover.
Let me ask you something. Do you think that maybe when they were designing what this character, the Swordsman, was going to be, this was kind of a mock-up drawing that they made of him, and then all of a sudden said, you know what? We can just slap some Avengers heads on that and use it as the cover.
I mean,
do you think?
Right
right? I don't think that's that far out of possibility.
I don't. No, that definitely seems realistic.
Oh, clutch the pearls.
I know. Gasp.
Thanks for voting.
I don't want to give anything away. We're not
you'll
spoiling.
find out in a little bit.
We're not spoiling a book from 1965. We're not doing that.
Okay, so he
did appear in the Hawkeye show, right? They brought him in on the Hawkeye series.
Yeah,
and he did have an accent. He was Spanish, I think, in that. He was
from Spain. Every time I wear this shirt, I get that. Every time. And no one said it today until now.
Joel was a great guest on your show on Sunday.
Thank you. He was.
Missed it. I mean, he's a great guest on anything, anytime people can get him. But we
talked about the Phantom Zone.
You guys had a great discussion going over there.
Another JLA vote?
I think this one's locked up on the cover, but if you guys want to keep voting, we can.
I'll say very quickly because I haven't sounded off on
yeah,
mine.
you haven't said.
I'm going JLA.
Okay, shocker.
So it's just
it's superior.
It's JLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another JLA. So we are unanimous, chat and panel.
That's right. So cool. It's time to talk about the meat and potatoes of this entire thing, the story.
Yes, sir.
So I will grab my iPad and get set up here. And I will put you, actually, I will switch us around. Okay, we can start talking about the super exiles of Earth.
We start off with our usual roll call picture, and we have the whole team examining the fact that they're going to be exiled from Earth. Everybody looking a little bit glum. And of course, we're asking the question, how could this possibly happen? Right? So we cut to Ray Palmer, the Atom. Of course, he's looking in doing his sciencey kind of thing, and he sees the Atom on a slide that he's examining. And all of a sudden, little Atom jumps out, knocks big Atom out. And we're like, what is happening? Cut to Clark Kent exiting an elevator only to see Superman. And they're like, wait, who could be? You could be. How could this possible? But before we know it, Superman throws a kryptonite piece at Clark Kent, and Clark instantly passes out and has to be carried away. Shocker. Then we go to Coast City, and Hal Jordan is testing a new jet, and Green Lantern is flying over to him, and he says, oh my gosh, this is dangerous. I'm going to duck under this yellow plane that's going to protect me from this person's ring. But the ring is not affected by yellow. Instead, it zaps him and knocks him unconscious. Cut to Flash, and the Flash is getting ready to get dressed for the day, I guess, after fighting crime. And another Flash zips in and spins around him so fast it sucks the air out of him so he can't breathe and he passes out. Shocking. Next, we've got Diana flying through the sky and another Diana coming towards her. What is happening? This other Diana breathes her breath in such a way to cause this sort of spinning motion that launches her down to the earth, and she crashes in quicksand and starts falling under the ground. Then we cut to Martian Manhunter, Detective John Jones, and he is walking down a street, and somebody asks him for a smoke, and he's like, well, I don't smoke because fire scares me. And then the guy says, I know that, haha, here's light. And he lights a match and flicks it at him, and of course he crumbles. Then we go to a arrow competition, an archery demonstration, and it's Green Arrow versus Green Arrow. And they're like, oh, it's quick draw. Who can draw fastest? And this other imposter Green Arrow shoots his arrow faster and knocks him out. Cut to a whirlpool, and Aquaman is trying to rescue somebody in the maelstrom, and he swims in only to find that it's another Aquaman who set this trap for him, and our Aquaman gets pulled in while this imposter escapes. Batman runs to a bat signal and finds another Batman who is a much quicker fighter and knocks him out before he even has a chance to get involved. What are all these shenanigans about? It turns out robbery. We cut to several different panels showing these imposter Justice League characters robbing various banks, art museums, etc. across their cities, and basically creating a scandal where it seems our Justice League characters are criminals now. And cut to Diana waking up and freeing herself from the quicksand and summoning her invisible jet and signaling the rest of the team. They've all somehow escaped the conundrums that they were in, and they quickly rush to their headquarters to regroup. And when they get there, they hear word of all the robberies, all the things that they've done, the crimes they've committed and they're being accused of. And they stand confused as to how they can possibly overcome these odds. They decide that what they need to do is get into action. And when they leave and they start going to fight this problem, the police are there and they know they can't fight the police. They have to stand for justice. So they surrender and are taken before a judge. The judge says, hey, you guys have been committing a lot of crimes lately. We don't really go for this. And then their lawyer is Jean Loring. This is the wife of Ray Palmer, or girlfriend at this time, future wife of Ray Palmer. And she says, that they're not guilty, but they need to talk. The Atom says, look, This is not going to go well. We have no proof that we didn't commit these crimes. So maybe what we need to do is exile ourselves. And the team basically agrees that if they are sent into far outer space, maybe this will be a way to trick their imposters into revealing that it wasn't really the Justice League. So Superman apparently quickly gets the team together to build a rocket ship. They all board it in disgrace. And while they're boarding it, Snapper, Carr, and several other people we might recognize are in the crowd protesting. Snapper in particular is like thinking, I don't know what's going on. Why would my friends do this? This is out of control. Meanwhile, we look at several faces that seem to be our heroes. The imposters are like, yay, we did it. We got rid of the Justice League. And you might be asking yourself, this is crazy. What is happening? Well, that's because we cut to Dr. Destiney. He is in jail and he has somehow crafted a crew of imposter Justice League members, and he is gloating as only villains can gloat, sitting in his prison. So he is happily telling us, oh, this is exactly what I wanted to happen. I used a special gas in a letter that I mailed to the Justice League, and it basically made them fall asleep so that I could then absorb versions of them to recreate my duplicates. The usual stuff you can make in a prison. Then we cut to outer space and the rocket ship is flying along. The team is sort of sulking. They're dealing with this awful situation they found themselves in, and they realize, there was that weird letter that we opened that one time. We all kind of had these weird dreams. How could it possibly be that we all dreamed of doppelgangers? Batman pulls the letter out. Superman and Martian Manhunter examine it, and they realize, oh my gosh, that's what happened. Dr. Destiney did this to us. But we can't just go back to Earth without getting into trouble. We can possibly, though, go back to Earth as our alternate identities. But to do that, we would have to reveal who we are to one another for the first time ever. But they all go ahead and do it. Yeah, they all go in. They come out in their normal civilian clothes, of course, except Aquaman, who has no secret identity. And they reveal one another. And they have a little moment that I thought was kind of fun where they're talking about, oh, hey, wait, you're no way, right? They decide what they'll do is use, let's see, is it, whose power did they use to create the little boat thing? It's Green Lantern's ring, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. It's not green, though. I can't forget why. It's because he's making it invisible with the ring. That's what it is. And he creates a little ship so that they can go back to Earth and they can see that these Justice League phonies are still wreaking havoc. So they come down to Earth, and as the alternate identities, they have to try to stop these villains. But it doesn't go super well. They team up against themselves, and Martian Manhunter versus John Jones and Diana versus Wonder Woman. This is not a good matchup. Everybody seems to be losing. So even when they try to fight in this form, these doppelgangers are really good. This happens as well for Batman. When Batman tries to blind his alternate version, the other version just always seems to be a little bit faster and judo chops him a couple of times. It's really not going well. Then when Clark shows up to fight Superman not only is not fooled by the powers, he then uses some new special ability called, his magic, Baranda Kalamazu Abu, which I had not heard before, but maybe you had. And he flips Clark upside down. Barry Allen is facing off against the Flash. That doesn't go well. Again, everybody seems to be losing. Even Ray Palmer, who captures the Atom and is pinching him between his fingers, somehow still the Atom wraps up his hands in a piece of metal and captures him. And of course, the best being poor Oliver Queen having to ride on the back of Hal Jordan as they fly into battle themselves. This is all just really not going well. Everybody getting defeated by the imposters. So couldn't they possibly find a solution? Well, cut to the whole lot of them all sort of trapped and stuck, facing down in the gloating versions of themselves. And they're all just saying, well, you can't do this to us. And they're like, well, if you kill us, your powers will vanish. You're just a doppelganger of me. If you kill me, you lose your powers. You'll vanish. So the doppelgangers agree, and they decide to bury them using the green ring that Hal Jordan, fake Green Lantern, has. They bury them under the ground. This is driving Dr. Destiney crazy because none of this is hitting the newspapers, and he believes that he's waiting for the Justice League to return, but they just haven't done it. So the team is sitting there stuck underground in their alternate identities, and they realize what we need to do is create a giant Green Lantern ring that is around all of us, and then we can use that to raise us back out of this tomb that we are in. And when they get to the top, they have a moment to figure out what is going on here. And they're realizing that the reason that they kept failing was because that they were sort of being compelled, that there was like this thing happening to their nervous system, right? Where they were being compelled to do something different because something was interfering with their muscles. So what they need to do, they realize, is I'm trying to remember how what they do to the bad guys here.
Well, I know that they're remembering a previous case that they were in that we covered.
Yes, well, that was from
earlier.
Justice League 12.
Yeah.
Right. So I know that Ray Palmer is going to shrink himself down toward. I could shrink myself so small as to be invisible, while John Jones blows me toward our secret sanctuary where our other selves have gone. Becoming microscopic in size, I could enter our dream selves' brains undetected, and unfelt, and perform delicate operations. So in their dream state, Ray Palmer is like changing their minds and interacting with them so that when they wake up, they're all a little bonkers, and they don't have their coordination, they don't have their skills, and it is easier for our heroes to capture them and then bring them before a judge and prove their innocence. All of the while, poor Aquaman just had to sit and watch because he didn't have an alternate identity, so he couldn't actually be a part of the team for this.
He had to be exiled.
He did. So then the team shows up in Dr. Destiney's jail cell to brag a little bit and tell him, you know what, your plan failed. You're going into security lockdown in the solitary wing, and we're going back to that party at our house and have a good time. So huzzah, we win. So there you go. That's how they solved this mystery. And
then at the end, since they know all of each other's secret identities.
Yes. Yeah. They have to get amnesium from the Fortress of Solitude and make it so that the whole world and each other will no longer remember their identities.
Yes. And we don't see that executed. Superman says, I'm going to go get it.
He's going to do it.
Done.
And I'm assuming he follows through with what he says.
Yes, he does. He does. So I want to say hello to a couple people that have popped in while we were reviewing. I'll start out with saying hi to Glenn, Seeking Superman. So hope you're doing well. Yeah. And meow to the Jackson Roy Kirk. No starting line. So yeah, no Jimmy Hoffa though. So sad. Tragic. And then also Dr. Destiny. Yep, he's like a Scooby-Doo villain. Later on in like the 80s, he'll look like Skeletor. You know, when they start to draw him, he'll look like Skeletor. So
sounds about right.
Yeah. So you got half of the story right now. We'll give you the other half, and then we'll start deciding who had the better story. And we'll give you our comments on both stories as well. So I'll move you over. All right. So our Avengers story starts out with our full page splash, The Coming of the Swordsman. Mm-hmm. And he says, the very first thing he says out of the gate is, no one questions a man with an Avengers ID card. If I can join their team, there's nothing I won't be able to get away with. And those costume do-gooders would be fools to reject anyone as powerful as the Swordsman. Inside the mansion, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, the brother-sister duo, are bored. They're on watch duty right now. The alarm triggers that someone has broken in. Quicksilver goes to find out right away, comes across the Swordsman. And as powerful as Quicksilver is, Swordsman hands it to him right away. Wanda comes on the scene and starts casting one of her hexes as well, but he has power enough to make the hex actually affect Quicksilver. So definitely this guy has some power. Not that Quicksilver and Wanda aren't getting a few lumps in here or there on the Swordsman, but easily he's very powerful and standing his ground as much as the rest of them. And he says at that bottom panel, hey, there's no need to fight anymore. I'm just testing you. And they're like, testing us? And Scarlet Witch says, let's hear him out. He says, well, I want to join your group, and I needed to be certain you were as good as they say that you were. And he says, he's thinking, I'm close enough now. I could pay him back for those blows that he gave me. So he decides to, grabs the sword and hits Quicksilver. And Wanda says, if your cowardly blow has injured my brother, you'll pay dearly for it. And he tells her just to relax, little lady. I'm just taught him a lesson with the flat of my blade. So she goes to throw a hex at him. And he's like, hey, I don't want to have to defend myself against you. When all of a sudden, she warns him there is no defense against the Scarlet Witch's hex. So Captain America has heard some of this noise that's been going on. He comes running in to see what is going on. And he's like, who is this? And they're like, well, he calls himself the Swordsman. That's really all we know of him. And Scarlet Witch says, I sense an aura of subtle evil about him. I can just sense it. And he's like, the Swordsman, let's check our microtape identity file. If he has any sort of record, we'll find out about it. And he certainly does. And Cap's like, he tried to join our ranks. He's known in almost every nation in Europe as one of the most dangerous adventurers of all. He's been exiled from a dozen countries. Then before we can get another word out, that blade is back out and cuts the lights for a brief moment. And when the lights come back on, he's gone. And Quicksilver's like, I can go and find him. And they're like, well, he could be anywhere by now. So Cap decides to go back to his training routine. And he's also reminded that from the previous issue that Nick Fury never answered that letter that he wrote him. Typical. And the letter was asking to join his secret counterintelligence unit. And he's like, why hasn't he answered me? The unbearable delay. Nobody can be better qualified for the job than I. Although I don't admit it, I'm restless, just like Pietro is. I yearn to be in action every minute. Hawkeye's in, and he's like, what's kind of going on here? And they tell him about the Swordsman. He's like, no, the Swordsman, it can't be him. And he's like, oh, you've heard of him? He's like, I've more than heard of him. I used to fear him. They're like, tell us what you're talking about. And we go back into the past where Hawkeye never knew his parents. He was an orphan, and he was hanging around circuses and carnivals where he met the Swordsman, who was like the star of the traveling circus. And Hawkeye, this is pre-Hawkeye, he's saying, hey, I'm really good with arrows and stuff too. And he shows them, and he's like, we can make a good team. Your arrows and my sword. And they kind of playfully jab at each other about who is better. And one day, Clint walks in, and Swordsman is stealing the cash from the circus. And he says, they actually owe this to me. I'm the star of this event. They would have closed months ago if it wasn't for me. I'm only getting what I'm just due. And Clint knows that that's just not right. And he's like, come into business with me. Your sword and my bow, no one will ever be able to defeat us. And he's like, I'm getting the heck out of here. But Swordsman is after him. And he gave him a warning, purposely trying to warn him, next time I'm not going to miss you if you don't stop. So Clint is trying to get away when all of a sudden he throws the sword, and the sword does cut through the rope that Clint was using to try to escape. And Swordsman instantly turns away and just assumes that he has died, but obviously he didn't. And he probably shouldn't suspect that Hawkeye is the same boy from his past. So now we cut over to Nick Fury's office in Washington, where we have Hydra, and they see a letter on his desk, and it's from the Avengers. And they're like, this could be some interesting information in here. So they use this new displacer ray to transport the envelope from the desk into their possession. They read it, and it's Captain America's letter that he wrote to Nick Fury about wanting to join. And they're like, you know what? We have someone that will pay us greatly to have information like this, because they want to try to capture Captain America. And thinking that they have no need for the letter anymore, they kind of toss it down on the street. So there's the shady bar where all of the criminals are hanging out, and they're looking for someone that has a lead on how to trap an Avenger. And here's one of the individuals that found that And they have the idea, well, if you write back to Captain America, say that you're Nick Fury, you can get him. So he passes that information along to the Swordsman, and Swordsman is happy with that information. It's kind of what he needs. And there we have Captain America rejoicing. I got my answer. Fury wants me at last. And they're like, well, what about your duties with the Avengers? And he's kind of like, I'll be on call when you need me, but this way I'll be in action all of the time. He's like, so you want to be a part-time Avenger? And Wanda's kind of like calm down, but she knows secretly that both her brother and Hawkeye want to be the leader of the Avengers. So they're more plotting like, him leaving would be a good thing because we could get what we want. So we cut over now to as fate is a way of taking a hand when least expected. A few hours later, not far away. We have these crooks that are trying to break in when all of a sudden they hear a noise and there's a huge flare light that's lighting up the whole alley. They think it's the cops, but when the arrows come, they realize it is Hawkeye who is there right now. And they're like, we can't get caught right now. You know, we're 2-time losers already. This will really put us away. So Hawkeye goes to take them away and wrap them up. He gets them, turns them into the police. And he's kind of thinking about Captain America, who he refers to as Glamour Pants. And he realizes that Hawkeye is walking into a trap because he found the letter that this crook had when it got thrown out by Hydra. And he's like, we need to warn Cap because this is what's going on. So he goes back to the bench and tells Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and they're like, he's gone. We don't know where he went or how to reach him. And where he has gone is to meet up with what he thinks is Nick Fury, although he thinks it's very odd that he's in a rundown warehouse, which is supposed to be a conference site.
Doesn't seem like a trap at all.
No, not at all. And the Swordsman is instantly making his presence known. He flies down, and Captain America starts, using his shield to defend him. I like Swordsman steps on the shield there at that bottom panel. And as they start to battle back and forth, at one point, Captain America says, you think I'm defenseless now? He's like, you're just kicking cartons of boxes down. That is not going to save you. He's like, no, but I'm keeping you off balance long enough for him to be able to retrieve his shield and use the shield, and gives him a pretty good thunk right on the head.
Yeah.
And he says, shield or no shield, my blade will smash you yet. And they got a pretty good fight going on between the two of them. Meanwhile, the rest of the Avengers are still trying to figure out where Cap could be at. And they finally say, oh, Tony Stark made us these tracker beams that we had forgotten about. So there's one inside Cap's belt. Where he's at, we'll be able to find him. So they take off. The battle is still continuing. Swordsman has cut this rope and released a pile of metal casing above him. Comes crashing down. He uses his shield to try to protect most of his body. And then Swordsman heads for this mechanical hydraulic lift to bury me under 2-ton crates. And he almost does, but with some quick thinking, Cap gets away, gets out, and starts attacking the Swordsman again. And Swordsman feels lucky because he's protected inside of that vehicle when it goes crashing into those crates, and Cap isn't. And Cap is knocked unconscious. He throws him over his shoulder, and he's like, okay, cool, I got him. The rest of the Avengers have arrived at this time, and Quicksilver realizes he's nowhere in the building, and that's because they point and say, oh, look up. And Swordsman says, don't move, Quicksilver. Don't reach for an arrow, Hawkeye. Don't try a hex. I hold the high card right now. One prod of my blade and Captain America plunges to his doom. He's like, if you value his life, you have 10 seconds in which to make me the new leader of the Avengers. And Cap's like, don't do it. It's the team that matters. And like, we can't let you die. And he says, remember your vows. You must obey without question my command. There must be no surrender. And Swordsman's like, they'll surrender. Only 3 seconds remain because they're not going to let you die. And even Hawkeye's like, well, I wanted to be rid of him, but not like this. And then all of a sudden, looks like Cap takes a tumble. And they're like, Swordsman's pushed him. They're like, no, he didn't. I saw it. Cap actually jumped, and he did it for us so that we wouldn't surrender. And that's the cliffhanger of our issue.
Dun dun. That's just what we call you, Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys can start voting right now for who had the better story while John and I start talking about our thoughts on both of these stories.
Sure. Which
Where do you
one
want
do
to
you want
start
to do
at?
first?
Let's do Avengers since we just finished the issue.
For sure. It's an interesting issue. There's some goofiness as we expect from Silver Age comics. I don't know that I like the Swordsman a ton. I do think the story skips around a little bit and doesn't necessarily add up to a lot, but I do love the cliffhanger at the end. I think it's a very effective ending that leads beautifully into the next issue, which has that moment of Cap falling to his death on the cover. It's just the exact same moment. So I like all of that. I do like that we are given more time with characters like Hawkeye, so those side new heroes get to shine a little bit. I still think they sideline Wanda entirely too much, but it is a trait of Stan Lee's writing for this era, so you kind of have to just go with it. But being that she is potentially, among this group at least, the most powerful person in this crew, even in this time, like even at this moment, her hexes compared to, oh, Quicksilver's fast, the other guy's got a frisbee, and the other guy shoots arrows. Like Wanda is clearly the Omega in this crew. So it's funny that she's often relegated to this like second tier status in some ways.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think the Captain America storyline doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I don't think they've written it well enough for me to understand why he's so obsessed with following Fury versus being a leader to the Avengers. That portion, I think, could you use some fleshing out. So for it to be the crux of a lot of the action here doesn't particularly work for me.
Okay, you guys can keep voting. For me, when it comes to the Avengers story, there's some of the things that I really like about the story. I like that they're hearkening back to previous issues. Remember, this is 1965. They didn't do a lot of that. I mean, that's commonplace now. They didn't do a lot of that. These were all supposed to be like self-contained issues or 2 issues max. And I like that, you know, that letter from the past has already is coming back into play. Our cliffhanger ending, they truly left on a good cliffhanger this time.
Yes. Which they didn't do a lot of in this era, as far as like stories that you had to get the next issue. It was always like self-contained.
Yeah, I like that. I'm kind of with you. Swordsman just doesn't kind of excite me. And it's kind of like, you just want... It's funny to me that he knows that being an Avengers has that privilege with that card. And it's like his master card or whatever. You know, he can master the possibilities. I can be evil now because I have the Avengers card. And...
the logic is not really there. Yeah.
And honestly, with me, Swordsman is so similar to Black Knight, who they'll introduce in the future in Avengers, that he just isn't as special to me.
Fair. Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. Anything else you want to say about Avengers?
No, I mean, I think I mentioned it jumps around a little bit. We got gangsters. We have Hydra for a small bit with like a special weapon. I do think that like moving between all these different villains thing, I guess it's nice to see the extended universe of Marvel, but for me, it just made the story a little clunkier to read.
Yeah. So for the Justice League story, I did like that a lot. What I really liked about the Justice League story is how much the secret identities were used in the story, and that had not been used at all.
No.
Barely any time before. Once in a blue moon, you get a panel glimpse of maybe Diana and Steve Trevor or Superman and Lois or something, but not like the way that it was used in this one. So I like that. I thought it was a little odd and very story convenient that, they think about that odd letter and Batman's like, I have it in my utility belt because I was going to take it and test it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Very convenient.
So here it is. I took it into space with us.
Very true.
So, hey, Gamma Ray. How you doing?
Good to see you, sir.
Yes. Thank you for being here. So, I mean, there's a little Silver Age silliness that's to be expected in both titles.
Right.
That's where I was with Justice League. How about you?
I found it quite fun. I found the issue quite fun. And I think it was 2 pieces. You mentioned the secret identities, which had me like giddy. The fact that
Mhm.
they got to learn each other's secret identities, the fact that they were in those costumes significantly. I was irked, but I understood that they had to like reverse it at the end.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed that that's what they went, that they didn't just continue with knowing one another's identities. It felt cheap to me. It cheapened the moment, which was great. The moment was so strong.
Mhm.
They come out, they see one another. I almost could have done with a whole other page of them interacting with each other. It's like,
Yeah.
you're that reporter who wrote that article about me, or what? You're that billionaire guy. Oh my God.
Yep.
Whatever. I felt like there were some moments there that maybe could have been expanded on, but what we got was wonderful. And that worked really, really well. I also found Dr. Destiney hilarious. The fact that he's doing all of this, he even mentions one point that he made parts of this in the prison, like
He never left
jail.
jail.
No, he made these devices to make powerful copies of the Justice League that were strong enough to beat them one-on-one in jail. This guy, that's pretty amazing. And then he has no way to get news. So he doesn't learn their identities. When he creates these duplicates, he doesn't learn that Batman's Bruce Wayne, even though
Mhm.
the duplicate knows this.
Yes.
So for me, I just love you mentioned Scooby-Doo villain of it all, but the idea that he's doing all of this from his jail cell and then can't like find out what's going on, and all of the panels with him, even though it's a ton of exposition usually, was so funny. Like I was giggling at the hilarity or the oddity of him in his jail cell masterminding this thing. So
Yeah.
between the identities and Dr. Destiney, I thought that stuff really was my highlight. To your point, there were some oddities, some stuff that didn't work as well, where you're just
Mhm.
like, well, that's just silly. Why they needed to fight each other and lose twice didn't
Yeah.
make a ton of sense to me. And some of the ways that they would lose are just like, okay, like he's just carrying around. Everybody's got kryptonite. Just carries around
Yeah.
the thing of kryptonite. Just throws it. Yeah, yeah. Just a lot of it was just, you have to just take the Silver Age-ness of it with a grain of salt. I think that, and I definitely was along for the ride, but there were definitely moments that stretched the incredulity of it all.
Sure. Looks like in the chat we got a couple Avengers votes, and then we have a Justice League vote from Glenn. What are you going to vote for?
I'm definitely voting JLA. Like and I feel like I've been like laying my cards on the table all night as far as like where I'm voting on this thing. But it was just it was the issue that was a lot more fun, and it felt more significant. It felt more important, and it was something that I would absolutely read again. So in that regard, it checked all the boxes for me.
The one that I'm going to vote for tonight is something I haven't said yet about either book, but it felt the most like I could see this plot being turned into a 30-minute cartoon episode back in the day, and that's Justice League. I could have seen them do a version of this story as an episode of Super Friends or whatever,
Oh yeah.
So Avengers was decent, and I wasn't as crazy about the Swordsman, but overall I like the Avengers. For me, the reading of the Avengers is getting much more enjoyable every issue that we get into. And the fact, since we changed the lineup drastically, like we did a few issues back, I'm enjoying it more than I did the earlier ones overall.
Okay.
But I'm going to go Justice League tonight.
I think Thor is flatter, and Iron Man can be somewhat flat compared to, I think, Pietro and Clint and Wanda. I think they have a lot more flaw.
Yeah.
Their flaws and their egos and things get in play that I think in ways that it wasn't so with the guys that were on the original team. So I can see what you're saying, at least as far as the team dynamic goes. And I don't mean to hate the Avengers issue. It was just not as much fun for me. The basic way I would describe it personally.
Okay. We'll turn over to the art. We've been showing you pages from each issue, and we'll stick with Justice League since that's what we've been talking about, if that's okay.
Let's do it.
Who had the better art for issue 19? Your thoughts?
I mean, we've been saying back and forth just how consistent Sekowsky is on Justice League.
Yes.
And always bringing his A game. And there were panels that I laughed at, panels that had great energy and excitement. He got to go to outer space. Like you said, he had got to use all the Justice League members. There are a lot of really great panel layouts here. I love the going into the closets and then coming back out of the closets.
That was fun.
They're like, right above one another, and you get this perspective on who they are and their identities. It was very enjoyable sequence. All the ridiculous Dr. Destiney faces are very entertaining. Definitely gave me some giggles. But yeah, I think he definitely captured a lot of the dynamic energy of the story. I love the shadows. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to do favorite panels or anything like that yet.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I loved, as ridiculous as it is, watching Martian Manhunter struggle with fire. Oh no, did I just rip it? I hope I didn't. Stretched it a little bit much. That one when he's in the shadows there, and he's getting tapped on the shoulder. The way they use the colors and the lighting is just fantastic. It gave me all the great noir detective comic vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So I just loved it. As a single little panel, it's something that you could easily overlook, but they spent time on it. They gave it focus that maybe other people might have passed over in some way. So that was my personal favorite. There's a lot of great ones when they're all together, and in their various identities.
Yeah.
That
almost looks like that could have been a cover too. That big panel completely. On the top,
Yeah. So I enjoyed a lot of the dynamic stuff that he was doing, but the group shots were always really strong too. So what about you?
So art, once again, great. The backgrounds are great. The characters are great. As a Wonder Woman fan, I love seeing Diana Prince using the magic lasso, and she uses it a lot in this issue.
Right.
And I saw Wonder Woman in a lot of poses that were different and fresh and unique. So I like that. But I mean, I always could pick a Wonder Woman panel as my favorite.
Okay.
But
so there is a panel I skipped over that I hope you pick as your favorite. So I'm excited.
I don't think I did because I didn't pick I didn't pick a solo Wonder Woman. So what was the panel you liked? Is it is it this one? Oh, sorry. Page flipped on me. Is it this one?
I mean, that's a phenomenal one. No, it's not a Wonder Woman page.
Oh, okay.
The one that I mentioned made me laugh. With Oliver riding on.
Oh yeah. Like that is funny.
Horse. It's hilarious. I laughed out loud getting to this panel down here. So we didn't mention that one, but I did want to highlight it. That's just hilarity for me.
So the one that I decided to go with is my favorite panel because and I'll show it and then I'll explain why I went with this one. It's the very first page. I like this. And the reason, one of the things that really got to me, and I was like, this is so kooky, I'm going to pick this, is Adam sitting on the globe.
Sure. Oh, yeah. The way he's posed like the thinker.
Yes.
He's like,
yes. I just love that. And the way they're all kind of looking and they look so sad.
Yeah.
Sad and
like Damien's sad vision.
Yeah, sad vision. By the way, you guys can be voting while we're talking right now on which issue you thought had.
Let us know. We're showing you some of the panels. Let us know if you have one that you think is the clear winner of the art.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else DC art before we go over to Marvel?
No, I think that was most everything I wanted to mention for sure. And again, the faces of Dr. Destiney I thought were kind of fun, whether he was just giddy or so mad at the emotional level of Dr. Destiney. I found him, that's partly why I loved those pages, which could have been very boring, droll villain monologue stuff. I think played better because the facial expressions were so funny.
Yeah. So moving over to Avengers, art is really solid on this. There wasn't anything where I was kind of like, hey Dio, how you doing? Thanks
He's
for
been
being
dropping
here.
some great
Appreciate
videos.
that.
He did his
Yeah.
top 3 storm covers recently.
Ooh.
Crushed it.
Nice.
He's got some great videos. If you guys aren't following Dio Wolf, definitely click the name or
Yeah,
cruise
do
over
that.
and find it. I can help you out. I definitely, if you need the link, let me know, folks, because he's great.
Yeah. One thing I like with the Avengers panel, I mean, even on this, I'm going to show you 2 panels from 1 page. The faces there, fantastic.
Yeah.
But also on the very same page, the beginning panel, you don't need to see his entire face. I mean, that
The
captures
mustache.
what you need. It just captures it.
It's so good.
And they weren't
like
taking chances. They weren't taking chances like this a few issues prior.
No.
And
like you said, it sounds like he's got just the way he's written and the way it's drawn. It sounds like he's got an accent. And I think that page right there is that panel is a prime example for sure.
I like this panel a lot. It's not my favorite one, but it was a contender. I like that.
The perspective from above and the lighting with the shadows, really good.
Yep. But what I'm going to go with for my favorite panel.
Yeah.
Because
I'm worried it's my favorite panel too. So we'll see.
This is what I picked.
Oh, then you didn't pick mine if you're laughing. Yeah.
That's what I picked. Because he's so happy. Because he got a letter in the mail and he is so happy.
He got a letter from Nick Fury. And I'll tell you,
so he thought.
That little boy's heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yep. So that's what I went with, his giddiness as my favorite panel. You can just tell, yippee is what he's thinking. Yippee.
Yeah. He's, hey, he got that secret decoder ring and he's very excited.
Yeah. How about for you with the art?
I thought for sure I was going to pick the same one that you chose for this, because I thought for sure you would choose this amazing.
Oh, I do like that.
I love the directionality of it. I love the color work in the background. I love the way her costume looks here. This is a great panel. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. So this one, when I saw it, I was like, oh dang, look at that. That is a beauty. So for me, that was the clear winner, but there were so many that I liked. I think to your point, Don Heck has been superior in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And the dynamic energy that he brings to the paneling, I think, is a lot of fun. The action sequences are exciting. The characters' expressions. Here's the one when it's the Swordsman flashback. I think it's got a great intensity to it. He's so clearly a villain. I mean, he's not twirling the mustache, but that's basically all he's not doing. Mm-hmm. So I really did enjoy what he's doing. This oddball gangster guy with the cards. It's like this is almost golden age level for me in the style of this guy. So there's definitely a lot to enjoy here, and again, his faces are strong. The costumes look great. Like Captain America, that's a great Captain America. Holy cow, what a phenomenal drawing. So definitely a lot to enjoy from both of them, from both artists this week.
I actually think this is maybe the hardest category of all of them tonight, is the art.
You know what? And for me, if you're just talking about which ones were closest today, this one is the only one. The other two so far, cover and story, were not even close for me, but interior artwork is definitely a competition right now, which is something I didn't think I would say a lot of when we got out of the Kirby era and Sekowsky was in his heyday. I didn't think we would have issues where they were like on par with one another. So that's nice to have, if nothing else.
So who are you picking? Who had the better art?
Oh, it's so challenging. I do think it's hard not to pick Don Heck, but I'm going to go with Mike Sekowsky. So I'm going with Justice League for this as well. It's just, I think the tipping point for me is Dr. Destiney. How much fun I had with those faces of Dr. Destiney, in the same way that I feel like every Cap drawing by Heck, I'm like in on it. Every Dr. Destiney face just giggled me up. And then, so for me, I'm giving the edge. This is a Sekowsky win for me.
Okay. For me, I had picked an art winner, and then during the course of this show, I went, oh no, I think I'm changing my mind to the other book. And then, weighing them out in my mind, I went, no, you were right in your original picking. But this goes to show that the art was so close that it literally was like this, in choosing. But for me, I'm going to go Justice League for art tonight.
Okay. Ooh, clean sweep for both of us.
It's because I really like the secret identity stuff and the art that I got with that.
Yeah.
So that's
so far, no voting in the chat. You guys got to let us know who is the art winner tonight before we get into our final category.
We have MVP and then the big category. So
well, sure. Yes.
Yeah. Should we talk about? Okay, so there's this thing called MVP. And some shows talk about this too, and so
I hear.
I hear, and
often copied but never duplicated.
Avengers story.
Yeah.
Who was the MVP of this? I have an answer.
Okay, you want to go first then? You seem ready.
I am ready. Our MVP is yippee! It's Captain America. Because he kind of realizes that the Avengers can't give up for multiple reasons. So he's going to take them out of that situation.
Yeah.
And that's why I voted for him for MVP for Avengers.
Sure.
What did you think?
Yeah. No, I don't think there's another option. This is clearly another Cap focused issue where we see him at the beginning trying to be a leader, but also having his feet in sort of two places at the same time and wanting to be a part of Nick Fury's squad, but still wanting to stay with the Avengers. He has to make a bold choice about where his allegiance lies. And that moment when he throws himself off of the building at the end, that's a hero moment. That's a big hero moment. And I think it goes to his state of mind as a character in that particular chapter of the story. So, yeah, I think he's the clear MVP over there.
Yeah. DC, who's the Justice League MVP? I had a harder time with this one.
Yes. This is definitely a harder one because of how well they are all given moments to do something or another in solving this. But for me, in the end, reviewing it over and over again, I feel like the whole team doesn't win if the Atom doesn't go in and re-scramble those brains. So for me, it's down to the Atom shrinking, to the size that they can then operate on the brains of these creatures. So that was why I chose him as the guy, right?
So I had a different MVP.
Okay.
So I'll state my case for my MVP, who it is in my case, and then we'll figure out who between the two of those who it is, and then take that person and put them against Captain America. I said the MVP was Dr. Destiney because of what he was able to do from jail.
You know what? You don't even need to sell me on it.
I don't have to sell you on it. I did because I thought, I was looking at all the individual heroes, and I'm like, I can see this and I can see that. I mean, it's definitely not Aquaman.
Well,
it's definitely not.
He doesn't
Aquaman.
do anything.
Nothing. And then I went, yeah, but look at what Dr. Destiney did, and he never left jail.
He didn't. It was pretty amazing.
So that's why. Okay, we're good with going with Dr. Destiney. Okay, so Dr. Destiney or Captain America now?
This is where it's going to get difficult for sure. Oh man. So I had not considered Dr. Destiney because I was so wrapped up in how they foiled his plan.
Yes, I did put a new coat of paint on the barn.
That his plan was really the most impressive part. Yeah, my master, he calls it his I was able to create my superheroes and I used my Materopiacon, which I was able to build secretly in the prison workshop where I was sent for good behavior.
I mean, he had to fake them out enough to make them think that he was behaving well enough when he secretly is not.
That's so good. That one line right there. Yeah. And it transforms your dream images into living beings. And he built it. What's the line in Iron Man? He built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess considering that we were adding Dr. Destiney at the last bit here and I hadn't considered it, maybe he's the winner overall, man.
I'm starting to think he kind of is.
I mean, because even Cap doesn't do a ton in this issue.
He's ready to ditch those other Avengers as fast as if he got a real letter from Nick Fury, he's gone.
He's on the border of quitting.
Yeah.
He gets a letter in the mail, rushes to a clear trap and gets hosed, gets captured, and then throws himself to his own possible death. So, I'll go with Dr. Destiney then.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, Dr. Destiney is where I'm going to go. So, okay.
So I got to read up on Dr. Destiney so that I can talk about him.
Yes. So now, chat, here's where it comes down to. This is the moment the entire show has led to. Who had a better issue number 19? Let us know starting right now because we're going to pick the winner for JLA and Avengers.
And Final I dropped the starting line before you, Jackson,
he
Roy
did.
Kirk. I got you this time. Yeah. Right. So every vote after that start line counts, and the chat chooses the winner, which was the better book. Mm-hmm. We are the tiebreaker. What if we can come to a consensus?
Although we'll still give our vote too.
Yes. Yes. We'll give our vote for sure. And I think it's pretty clear where we fell because both of us basically went with a full sweep on the Justice League side for issue 19. Yeah. Did you have anything that you felt like wasn't mentioned or might be an outlier that would push your vote from the obvious?
That Avengers issue, I'm going to say, it's not that the Avengers issue is bad. It isn't by any means. It's just that when you're going issue to issue, I mean, this Avengers book clearly could have swept some previous Justice League books that we've read.
Oh, for certain.
Could have, absolutely. But that Justice League book just had something just a little more in it.
Oh, you're snapping. Look, it's got you snapping.
Oh, yeah, snapper. Yeah, Daddy-O.
It's so good it got Ryan snapping.
Yeah. Now, I wonder, would Snapper's duplicate, would he snap better?
You know, honorary members don't get duplicates because they apparently weren't there for the potion or the magic dust that they
or
breathed
the letter reading.
I don't know how Snapper wasn't there for the letter reading.
If he was there for the letter reading, maybe I was going to say maybe it figured he had no powers, but then with Batman, it knew, and Batman, so I don't know. You know your B list when Dr. Destiny's like not worried about you.
Yeah. Maybe there's a story down the road somewhere where a Snapper Carr doppelganger pops out of nowhere because he's been wandering DC universe.
Yep.
We got one vote for Avengers. But yeah.
I know Glenn says he's kind of away from keyboard, but everything he's voting for is Justice League.
You got to be voting in the chat. None of this proxy.
You can't
voting.
Be AFK away from keyboard.
So good. For me, there is no comparison. It's a straight up Justice League victory for me tonight. I don't know that there's any piece that needs expounding upon, but I do feel like overall there are no drawbacks. That everything was working, even the silly Silver Age stuff. It was fun and enjoyable, and I think this is a really great comic. And for me, I find it wonderful that that's your final one that you got to finish your run. It was such a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It wasn't like I didn't really want this one, so I waited till last. No, you finished on a banger, and so
and I will say too, because I didn't mention this, I had seen that issue. It's not like I couldn't find the issue. I have seen that issue many times, have held copies in my hand at comic stores or conventions or whatever, but either the price wasn't right or it wasn't, for whatever reason, it wasn't aligning the way it should.
Sure.
But that day it aligned perfectly. So
Yeah. Yeah, for me, there's no drawback. I'm excited. I will say I'm more excited to read the next Avengers issue because of
I am
that
too.
cliffhanger. That was
Mhm.
a very solid cliffhanger, and it's exciting to be maybe entering the era of two-parter, three-parter stories that continue on a little bit. What's up, Maddie?
Yeah, how you doing? I need
I
to
don't.
go over and watch his new video.
Oh, what is his new video?
I saw him post a tease, and I'm like, that looks like something I could really enjoy. So that is on
Ooh,
my watch list for tonight.
I'm going to just while we're talking, I'm going to make sure I go over to his channel
Yeah,
and add that to my watch list.
yeah, I'm gonna watch it tonight. So we are taking votes. I know you missed most of our pitches for both titles. Avengers or JLA tonight? Who had the better issue number 19? Guys, it is time to vote because we're getting ready to wrap this up. And right now, chat wise, it's Avengers. Host wise, it's Justice League.
Yeah.
So
the chat needs to get in here and vote. If you're hanging out with us, make sure you vote. Make sure you let us know which was the better book. You've been listening. Yep. You've been hearing the information, maybe seeing some covers and some interior art. But right now, Jackson Ward Kirk is coming in to steal that away.
Yep. Do you want to talk about your channel, what's on it, and what's coming up while we let some people vote some more?
I did an unboxing late last night after Omni X-Men, so it didn't get a ton of views because nobody was there to watch it, but those who did got to see my haul from Comics Curing Cancer. I had a stack of slabs and a stack of raw books, and I'm keeping a few things, including a Claremont signed Uncanny X-Men issue. Yeah.
Nice.
So this is something I'm keeping for sure. And then I got a handful of slabs and things like that, so you can watch that unboxing if you missed it. I also bought a piece of original art that Matt is talking about, and it's in my car because I'm taking it to work to do a nice high res scan of it.
Oh, nice.
But it was a piece from Tim Stacy, the previous artist for Omni X-Men's giveaway, and I've never done a commission from him, and I felt like it was long overdue. So I went and bought a commission from him of Storm, of course, and it came in last night. So if you missed it, you can catch that on the replay. I should be interviewing our friend Rob Wurst on Saturday morning. So that should be the show that I'm doing Saturday morning coming up.
Where are the comics?
Yeah, where are the comics? Nobody knows. And what else? Oh, I got a video. I've done some shorts lately. I've been trying to do more shorts at the beginning of the week and then a video on Thursday. So Thursday, I'm dropping a video that is a response video to one that JP made asking about 5 comic runs that you've watched or that you've read that made you a fan of characters you didn't think you liked before. So I picked 5 that I've really read in the adult years here that turned me around on a character that I maybe hadn't been interested in before. So that's my response video to his, because he did a really great one as well. And I was struggling not to pick like 3 of the same 5 ones that he picked.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. So guys, keep on voting too. Who's the ultimate winner tonight, Avengers or JLA? And
all right, we're some tied. More time. It's tied right now.
Oh yeah.
Because Maddie voted JLA. So we would tie break this and make it a JLA win unless somebody comes in with an Avengers vote here.
Sure. I'll talk about my channel and what's going on. I'll start with this past Sunday with Fanboys Live and the retro review. We did that Phantom Zone, which was a bunch of fun. And then I want to thank Joel again for being on the show this past Sunday. Then Monday, my back issue of the week YouTube short, it was on an X-Men character, Nightcrawler. So
great.
Thank you. So that is the current back issue of the week. Issue 1 of a 4-issue mini that was done by his creator, Dave Cockrum. Art and story. My comic book editions video that dropped yesterday, volume 262, has some Marvel and DC and a Funko Pop in with it too. And I think there's some fun stuff in there. So that's what's currently on the channel. What's coming up for the channel this upcoming Sunday, Fanboys Live and the Retro Review, Sunday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central. TM Nerdy will be the first-time guest with us this upcoming Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a bunch of fun having Travis on. So that is the next show. And then there will be a DC Comics book as the back issue of the week for next week.
Nice.
And then my comic book editions video for next week is going to be 2 parts. An Omni X-Men Grand Prize win unboxing, along with an AOK from Geek Out with Roscoe.
Yep.
That's the first part. Second part of the video is a C3 win from John's Comics with Friends and an AOK that he sent me. So both of those together. I can't wait for you to watch that video so you can see what you sent me.
I got to stop sending you stuff. You keep making all this content.
I do. So that's what's coming up on the channel too. And yes, 1K celebration party will be coming. Something on the wall will be coming. Other stuff, it's coming. So quite honestly,
be a good fun party. We'll have lots of giveaways, and
yes,
including I'm going to have a couple of giveaway prizes set aside. So be ready for that. Oh yeah.
So I have to be honest though, I really expected to dip back down into the 900s, and so far I haven't yet.
And I don't want to jinx it. There's not a lot of wood for me to knock on around here. You're one of the first YouTubers I've known to crest 1,000 and not retreat back under it.
Because I thought it would have happened by now.
Oh yeah. Because where are you at now? Do you know?
No, I don't. I actually, once I hit there, I was like, yeah, I don't need to look anymore. You know, Jackson, I have something to say. Everyone says there's nothing on this wall. And sadly, there is something to take down from this wall that's here right now. And you all are going to feel so bad when you realize what's happened. Oh, very nice. Thanks. I honestly have not even looked. So cool. So tonight, as we wrap up JLA versus Avengers, because of the judges' vote, it is a JLA win tonight. Dr. Destiney MVP. Next month, we're going to be over on your channel for issue number 20.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see what type of, we'll get the second part of our big cliffhanger ending to the Avengers book. And we'll see what the Justice League are up to in a brand new story as well next month.
And technically, the finale of season 1, if we want to say such a thing. And we'll do a little recap show after that to kind of highlight this experience and go over the collections that we've got. Yeah.
So there you go. Make sure to join us then. A link to John's channel, if for some odd reason you're not subscribed, is in the description for this video as well. Sub him up. Enjoy the content that he is pumping out with love for you every week, multiple times every week. So thank you very much. And to my co-host, thank you for another enjoyable, fun evening talking about these comic books. I just can't help but think what these creators, like Mike Sekowsky, what Mike Sekowsky would have thought if someone would have said, 50, 60 years from now, there's going to be this thing called the internet, and people in different states that haven't met face to face are going to get together and talk about your work.
Yep.
And really good. And they're going to scrutinize some of it. If it's good or if it's bad, they're going to do it. So I just think that they would just think that is wild. Buckwild.
Probably.
Yeah. So
I think some of them were probably thinking, oh, this is just throwaway material. It's just a job.
This is my pay. This is just a paycheck to get the rent paid, and your rent paying is not only content for us, but it's what makes you timeless, so
for sure.
Thank you, John. Thank you to our wonderful chat as always. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you watched on the rewind, we appreciate you as well, and looking forward to hanging out with you again next month for our next edition. Until then, JLA win. Bye for now.